it's me from the literal cut. And I'm just here to let you know that this is a spoiler video, and if you haven't seen Young Royal Season 2, you might want to do that because we're getting into some stuff. So, roll the bell.
Season 2 is finally here! Hey guys, what's up? It's Imurgency and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back to discuss the long-awaited Season 2 of Young Royals. It's time to celebrate because this season gave us so much and there is so much to discuss. And how we're gonna do this today is that we're gonna do a little recap of this season just to get us up and familiar. I know we just watched it, but to run through it again, talk over some highlights, some character progression, and finally get into some speculation and predictions for Season 3. I can't believe we're already talking about a Season 3, but like, let's be honest here. It's likely going to be on the way. But before we do any of that, if you are new to the channel and like all things TV, pop culture, commentary, or fashion, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we cover all of that here every single week, every single Saturday. But you know, this show kind of came out in the middle of the week, so we had to cover it as soon as possible. And also make sure to hit the bell and turn on post notifications so that you never miss when I post. While you're at it, make sure to follow me on my socials at Imurgency. That is Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And heavy on the Instagram, I'm telling y'all. The girlies are missing out on some quality Instagram content, so if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram at Imurgency. And last bit of promo, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button because it helps out so much with this video on the algorithm. And it also shows me that you're liking the content. So make sure to leave a like. I'll give you a second to do that right now. Did you like it? Cool. So Young Royals Season 2. This season was a ride from start to finish, let's be honest. And this season picks up exactly where we left off with last season, with Wilhelm and Simone. Hold on, let me make sure I'm saying this right because y'all were eating me up last time I tried to pronounce his name. With Wilhelm and Simone being freshly broken up after the whole debacle of their tape being leaked by August, and Wilhelm publicly denying that it was him in the video and basically leaving all the fault with Simone. So yeah, emotions are running pretty high. And I feel like this entire season's plot revolves around the very tame, might I add, will they, won't they sort of situation between Wilhelm and Simone. And of course there's other drama and other things to kind of get roped into all of this, but I feel like Simone and Wilhelm's relationship, I feel like I'm not saying his name right, or lack thereof, is definitely the driving factor of this season. And might I say, one thing, I need to have a word with whoever decided on the episode count for this season because 6 episodes? Really? Only 6? For this show? For the highly anticipated Young Royal Season 2, only 6? Wow. Yeah, we needed to have a word because 6 was just not enough for me. But let's get into things and talk about our boy, Wilhelm, because Wilhelm's kind of in his revenge era this season. If he was problematic Season 1, he's kind of taken a step back just a little bit to try and do a little bit of inner healing and work. But with that healing, he's also in his very much menace revenge era. And I am so here for it because you can just see how upset he is with the people and systems around him that sort of influence him to become someone that he actually hates. And this season you can really see that taking a toll on him. Like I feel like we're finally getting to see the aftermath of all the things that went down in Season 1 because I feel like things just kept happening to him. We didn't really get to see him actually deal with any of that. And this season we get to see him be bitter. We see him actually develop anxiety and other mental health issues with the loss of his brother, with the loss of his relationship with Simone, and just the general pressure of being in royalty. And that was really nice to see because I feel like we don't necessarily get to see like a therapy episode or like just therapy worked in throughout a show. Here we get to see him go to therapy, still make those rash decisions, but we get the context of therapy. And you know, he actually does make some better decisions towards the end of the season, thanks to some of the revelations that he gets through therapy, but it was really nice to see that represented and see mental health addressed in that way. So we have to give this show its flowers for its representation of that. But while all that is real fine and dandy, I do have to say, for a majority of this season, Wilhelm just does not take responsibility for his own actions and really just does not see his role in all of the things that are going on in his life right now. Like while his story is very sad and is entitled to his own emotions and valid experiences, he's still really giving victim mentality for a lot of things that happen to him, which like I said, in some cases is valid. But on the other hand, he is also guilty of perpetuating a lot of the systems that are in place that are keeping him in this place that he does not want to be. And Simone actually calls him out for this at some point in the season, like saying that sometimes he can be just as bad as his parents or as the system that he hates so much. I don't know. I love Wilhelm down, but sometimes his decision-making skills, the things that he chooses to do, just really seem to shoot himself in his own foot. Shoot himself in how's that saying go? I don't fucking know. But you get what I'm saying. He kind of does it to himself sometimes. And it's really nice to see him actually own up to that later in the season towards the finale, which we'll address a little bit later. But regardless of all that, like I said before, his main focus this season, one of his main focuses, is just getting his revenge on August. And might I say, this revenge is so sweet. Like, I love it. I love that he decided that he was gonna just do one thing just flat out and just let August know, like, this is revenge. He was going to draw it out. He was going to be real do revenge about it. But another important thing about Wilhelm's character this season, we get to see him fully step into his bi-king energy in kind of a weird way, I'm not gonna lie. And what I'm talking about here is him and Felice's little moment where they were both caught in a really tough time. Wilhelm just found out that Simone was seeing someone else and Felice was just going through it, and they ended up kissing and almost going further if they weren't caught. And that scene was kind of just like, Like Felice, I love her down, and I love what they did with her character this season, just giving her more development. And I really just love seeing her and Wilhelm's friendship bloom and just them being such good friends. But that hookup scene, it had me a little confused. Like, I know that that whole scene was meant to drive the plot forward and kind of sunset any sort of inkling that Felice and Wilhelm could be a thing, but still. Like, I feel like it was just as weird for them as it was for us. Like, it was just an uncomfortable scene. Like, don't do that again, please. But yeah, like I was saying, Felice this season, solid character. I do wish, though, like, give her her own plot lines, you know? Give her something outside of just being a supportive aid to the main character, but then sort of disappears when the main character doesn't really need her anymore, you know? So I hope in season 3 we kind of see that energy reciprocated towards her, maybe from Wilhelm, like maybe a new bombshell enters the villa and sweeps her heart away, and she has to sort of figure that out, and she consults with Wilhelm to get some advice on how to really address that. But regardless, great character, loved her this season. Her friendship with Sara, and y'all, I know I'm really trying with these names. Please give me some slack. But her friendship with Sara was really cute and wholesome until it wasn't. But I just really like seeing their dynamic grow, especially seeing how they initially were with season 1 and just having them become best friends. I love that. I really love that for them. But sort of touching on the part where they weren't friends anymore, I want to know your thoughts, because I feel like Felice's reaction to finding out, and spoiler alert here, if you haven't seen the season yet or finished the season, maybe pause here, finish the season and come back. But finding out that Sara had been messing with August, I feel like her reaction to that was completely justified. And I've been seeing some discourse that maybe Felice overreacted and did too much when it came to finding out that information. But I just think it was justified. Like that was just messy behavior and was wrong for multiple different reasons. So I personally think Sara had it coming, but I would love to hear what you have to say about that. And since we mentioned her, let's talk about Sara. She made me feel so many things this season. Like, homegirl was really working this season. Working what? The results may vary. My nerves, her relationship with her brother, like, she was working a lot. You know, it was really interesting to see her kind of become like a pseudo villain or antagonist this season, just because she kept making these really shady decisions. And I honestly don't feel like any of those decisions came out of a place of like direct malice. Like, I don't think she was intentionally trying to hurt anybody, but she somehow ended up still hurting everybody. Like, everyone's plotline in this season could be tied back to Sara in one way or another. And really, I kind of love that for her. Like, in her villain era, like making horrible decisions. Like sleeping with the enemy, falling in love with the enemy, withholding information, putting your trust in the wrong person, and just generally lying about your intentions, locations, and affiliations with different people. Like, yeah, she kind of did her big one this season. Like, I feel like her main thing was that her relationship with August this season really did become something more serious. And for the moments that it was wholesome and genuine, I really did eat that shit up. Like, they seemed really cute together. Like, I feel like their relationship contrasted very well with like the beginnings of Wilhelm and Simone's relationship. just for the fact that it had to be secret and was something that sort of happened organically. I just think that the parallels between those two things were very interesting. Like, I feel like they were really starting to fall for each other, and that intensity just made that like final scene in the last episode so much better, like just so much better. And we'll address the final episode a little bit later. Next, let's talk about Simone. Simone. I personally was living for Simone this season. Like, I feel like he got a lot of individual screen time this season, which gave a lot of time for him to develop as a character on his own. Not to say that he didn't get that at all last season, but we're able to see him in a new light now, trying to come to terms with the end of his relationship and just seeing how he feels and trying to put himself back out there, but really not being ready to put himself back out there. Like, even with how Simone was treating Wilhelm, like initially once they first broke up and they had to interact with each other, and the way that they interacted with each other at the beginning of this season, I feel like Simone was very lenient with Wilhelm. And then there's the whole hot boy winter arc that Simone was going through this season, where he was trying to get over Wilhelm by getting under someone else. Let's be serious. Simone had no intention, zero intention of being with Marcus, the new boy. It's just that he had the luck of finding the exact right person at the perfectly wrong time, you know? And this is where we finally get to see Simone be in the wrong, because I feel like so far in this series, Simone's been the one that has been wronged. But now we just see him fully play this boy Marcus with no intention of being anything serious with him, fully still being in love with Wilhelm, and at one point secretly going off and kissing Wilhelm while leaving Marcus waiting for him. And that was just sinister. Like, that was sick and twisted. Because he had this boy come out and go to this thing that he knew that Marcus did not want to go to, and then has the nerve to sneak off and kiss his ex. Right. And then, making matters even worse, after he finishes singing a song that was meant for his ex, is staring directly at his ex once everyone's clapping. Like, that is just so sick to me. Like, you can see Marcus giving those puppy dog eyes, being so happy and so proud, but Simone is not concerned whatsoever. Like, that is so sick to me. But circling back, when we're talking about Simone's love for Wilhelm, I personally feel like he was a little bit too quick after making a whole fuss for almost 2 seasons about not wanting to be a secret and wanting to be loved publicly and like deserving all that, just to spin back in the final episode and kind of be like, you know what, I'll do exactly what you wanted me to do at the end of season 1 and the beginning of season 2. So I'm personally glad that Wilhelm sort of forced him to not do that with the things that happened in the final episode. But now it's time to talk about the final character. We haven't touched on him yet, or at least fully. And that is the villain, the antagonist, there we go, of this season, August. And I feel like August this season just started off bad and just continuously, exponentially actually, got worse as a person and as a character. Like, wow, this man is awful, terrible even. And I feel like what really did it for me was the second that he got offered a seat in the line of succession to be the crown prince, like this was the point in the season where I started to hate him. Like, my dislike for him turned into a fiery hate the second that I saw that smug look on his face, being like,
I'm gonna be the crown prince if Wilhelm doesn't take it. Like,
nobody likes you. Let's start there. But with that, I sort of have another question for y'all. When it came down to August and Sara's relationship, do you feel like he was manipulating or like taking advantage of Sara and her feelings for him? Because the way that he was moving towards the end of the season with his whole grand plan of how to like stop him from being rented out to the police was giving very much manipulation to me. It didn't sit right with me. Like, I feel like he knew that she thought that he was going to be a good person and turn himself in, when he really had no intention of doing that once he had a seat in royalty. And I just think that that was really scummy of him because, you know, obvious reasons. But besides that, like, you did not deserve to really be in royalty a couple episodes ago, so why would you know, I don't know. But enough talking about characters, let's actually talk about the finale. Let's talk about this final episode. The finale was wild. It went in so many different directions. Like, we got Simone finding out the truth about August leaking the tapes, and him actually trying to go and take action on that, and Wilhelm being like, you know what? I'll let you make your decision, I'll let you do you. But also, August sort of has this whole master plan because your sister kind of tipped him off about how to prevent you from doing that and how if you did go and snitch, it would ruin everybody's lives. You know, and we kind of just go from there. Like, things just continuously spiral and get more dramatic. And it all really comes to this really great scene where everyone confronts August and also Sara. And that scene was just really emotional because you get to see the looks of betrayal from everyone because everyone was gagged. like you have Sada finding out that the guy that she was fawning over was actually a piece of shit. I mean, newsflash, you know. This was a shock to no one. But then you also have everyone reacting to Sada coming out and saying that she was the one that kind of set this all in motion. And the intensity of that doesn't even address the whole part where like Wilhelm just pulls up the strap on August, like hello. Like fully has a shotgun to his chest, being like, I could take you out right now if you don't tell me who does it. You know, I'm still royalty. They're not gonna get me. You're gonna be the one that gets caught. Dead. Like, and then this episode we also get a really great scene between Wilhelm and Simone where we get to see them talking to each other for the first time just like freely and accepting that they actually like each other and still love each other. I feel like the best part of that scene was just seeing Simone telling Wilhelm he loves him in like the most sentimental and like purest way. And I think, hold on, don't quote me on this, I have not done my research, but I think it was done in a similar way that was done in season 1. I feel like it was a callback to that. If it wasn't, please let me know, but I feel like that was set up in a similar way that I've seen before. And then you get the absolute best part of this episode, honestly, maybe the best part of the season, where we get to the speech. And this speech has been built up for the entirety of this season. And I feel like the scene was great for 2 reasons. One, just seeing the moment where August gets excited to go up and speak because Wilhelm's like, I can't do this speech. And he gets so excited and he's about to walk up and Wilhelm's like, you know what? Never mind, I am gonna speak. And just seeing the defeat and shock on August's face, that humiliation just one last time was just so good. It was so good, so good. And then 2, you have Wilhelm get up there and start spilling the truth about everything that happened, admitting that it was him in that video with him and Simone, and basically publicly claiming Simone in front of the entire country. And I feel like that just sets up a very, very wild season 3, and I'm so excited to see that. Which leads me to the final part of this video, the final questions, the speculations for season 3, because this episode just set up so many things for a potential season 3. First off, you have Sara, who feels really bad, going and calling the cops and snitching on August, basically doing what Simone was going to do, but instead of Simone actually taking the fall, she's going to take the fall for that. I think that that's going to pan out to be very, very, very messy. I feel like most things that happen with Sara, it's going to be well-intentioned, but it's going to backfire in some type of way. I feel like next season we're definitely going to see the fallout from this speech. Personally, I think Wilhelm's going to get booted from the family. Like, I think this was the final straw and he's going to get kicked out of the family. But I don't know if August is going to be able to assume the throne with the truth being set free about what August did from Sara. Like, I feel like they're going to have an interesting time trying to figure out who is going to be the next crown prince. But through all that, I'm really kind of hoping to see like a Wilhelm struggle arc. Like, I'm hoping to see in season 3, Wilhelm finally getting exactly what he wants and seeing what happens in that. One question I have though, one thing that kind of just like confused me this season, that one boy, I forget his name, that kept popping up to Wilhelm and getting in his business, being like, you need to get over Simone, like you need someone of your own level, like you need someone of your status. Who are you, for one? And 2, like what's tea with him? Like what's going on with him? Because I feel like he was kind of just like there a couple of times where Wilhelm was in like a moment of weakness where it almost seemed like he was flirting with Wilhelm, but like not. But then he kind of just like disappeared. So I'm wondering if he's gonna be like a prominent role next season, because if not, that was just weird. Like that was strange, like his character was strange. So I'm hoping we get some more clarity of that in season 3. Like that is what I'm really interested in, because that was just confusing. But yeah, I feel like those are all of my thoughts for season 2 of Young Royals. Overall, this is a really great season. I enjoyed watching it so much. Like I have to give this show a solid 9 out of 10 stars. 9 out of 10 stars? When do I do that? I have to give this show a solid 9 out of 10. Like, I really enjoyed this season. and just the series as a whole. But now I want to hear from you. What did you think about Young Royals Season 2? Did you enjoy the different relationships that came up? Do you support Wilhelm and Simone coming back together after all this time? Let me know all of your thoughts and predictions down in the comments below. Again, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the content that we have coming out every single week. Follow me on my socials at Imurgency, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And while you're at it again, don't forget to leave a like on this video because it helps out so much. But other than that, y'all, thank you so much for watching. I've been Imurgency, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.